Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. There are a lot of updates that we're going to have to make with regards to the SA20 that kicks off tomorrow. There's a lot of new things and shuffling around that has been happening in various teams. A lot of announcements have been taking place over the last couple of hours or so for injured players and for the rookies that are going to be missing for the World Cup. It's quite fitting though, because we've launched as well our SA20 edition. So we're going to be having a Q&A session today. An opportunity for you guys to ask me some questions. I'm going to first start off the show by giving you guys some news updates of what's been taking place in the world of cricket in South Africa over the last today, some news that has broken, etc. We will talk a little bit about the game tomorrow as well between SEC and Joburg Super Kings. So we've got a jam-packed show for you today, a show that is going to cover everything that's been happening within South African cricket as per usual. But I also want to get into your Q&A session and get your questions in the live chat as well. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. Help us get to that 5,000 subscriber milestone by clicking subscribe and the notification bell for all future videos, please. We are very close to 5,000 subscribers. That's the next milestone for us. So please help us get there. Like I've said, we've launched the SA20 2.0 edition of the magazine. We've just recently launched it today. It is like a preview of everything that took place. There's the cover. This is what is in the magazine. We've got a preview and the squads. We've got a nice captain's preview as well. And there is also an article about what Rob Walter said with regards to the T20 World Cup spots and how that is going to, how the SA20 can help certain players possibly get selected for the World Cup in the T20 World Cup. We've got an exclusive from Chris on Ronan Herman's Happy Place. There's also getting to know Steve Stork. That is also something that we have done, even though that he is not in this tournament this time around. We still got an interview about from him because he was noticed in this tournament as well. So that is something that we also wanted to look at with regards to this particular issue. So please go and download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly, and every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. And the link is in the description for you to do so right away. We have also, as you know, in recent times over the last month or so, we have also launched something very exciting that I've always told you guys, that I tell you guys about every single day, and I won't stop because it is very important that you guys get your friends and family or acquaintances, or maybe just if it is a colleague that you know or a former colleague that you know that perhaps has a business. We have launched the Cricket Fanatics magazine Business Corner. And the reason for that is because we want to help businesses market their business products and services effectively and affordably to a cricket audience. And we've built this amazing platform, this amazing audience, a very engaging audience as well, so that businesses can market at an affordable rate and an effective rate to a cricket audience. We've done all the hard work to build the audience so that you don't have to do so. So please get involved with this particular venture that we've been on recently. The link is on the screen right now, as well as in the description. You sign up, you set up a free consultation, and we can discuss how we can help you and how we can help you market your business effectively and affordably to a cricket audience using our platform to do so. So please get involved with that as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to the show and what it's going to bring. Let's see what happens. A very good evening. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid Mohideen, and this is the show where you guys get to ask me questions, any questions that you want to ask me, whether it be about cricket, whether it be about anything. We get to chat about all things in cricket, etc. And I get to answer the questions that you've always wanted to ask me that you never had, maybe perhaps had a chance before to ask me. So that's what today's show is all about. So let's get into it. Let's get into this particular show, and let's see how we can navigate our way around all of the how we can navigate all around our way all around this particular content that we know that has been taking place in recent times. There's a lot to cover on today's show because I like to do the news first and foremost, of course. To first and foremost, I like to get that going, and then we can get into your questions and your live chats as per usual. That's how we generally do these type of shows. I like this Q&A session because it allows you guys to get to know me a little bit better and us to connect personally as well on a better level. It's good for you to know. It's for us to get to know each other better as fans, as well as from my perspective as well. I'd like to get to know you guys as my supporters that have been following me for quite some time and been loyal to the platform. It's really appreciated. I really thank all of you guys for being so loyal every single night, sitting with me, streaming, grinding away with me as we push through this difficult journey that we are on as a cricket fan base, because we know that cricket in South Africa isn't at the isn't at its most popular, especially with the way the Proteas have been performing, not winning World Cups, etc. So it does make it a little bit difficult and tricky. So first and foremost, what I want to start off with is just a couple of news stories and a couple of updates that have been happening regarding the SA20. So first and foremost, there are quite a few injuries that popped up in recent times. We knew about some of them, and a lot of them we've known about for some time, but replacements haven't really been called for them. Now we also knew about the S under 19 World Cup. Now it does surprise me that those players were not announced. I think by the time the auction when came around, that they would be in the S under 19 teams, and yet there should have been some sort of understanding of who would probably be in the under 19 World Cup squad. But those players still got selected, but they're not available. There are a couple of rookies on the rookie list that will now miss the tournament because of the under 19 World Cup. So that is unfortunate for some. And one of those names is a very talented boy called Steve Stoke. We have an exclusive on him in the magazine if you want to get to know him better. Pretoria Capitals have just announced his replacement in Tian van Vuren, and he will be coming into the side to replace him. But I'll, I think we also need to mention that Andrik Nokia is out injured as well, and he's also recently been replaced. And it was just announced, I think, half an hour to 45 minutes ago, that Huddersfield Yoon will be replacing Andrik Nokia in the squad. So the Pretoria Capitals squad is now complete. They've replaced their rookie player, and now they've also replaced Andrik Nokia. So their squad has now been updated. As you can see in our latest issue, we do have it in the magazine as well for you guys to see. I've made the updates. That's the great thing about having a digital publication, is that I can still update the articles even after it's been published. If it was a print magazine, then you kind of would be stuffed because the people would have printed the mag today, and then the announcements are happening only a fortnight before the tournament. So, like, it does cause a little bit of issues with regards to that. Then when it comes to the champions, the defending champions now, Sunrisers Eastern Cape, they will be playing tomorrow against JSK in the opening match of the tournament. and they've also been hit by an injury. Um, they have lost Sasanda Magala to injury, unfortunately, and they've made a replacement by picking Patrick Kruger and added him to the side. So that's an update with regards to the Sunrises that has been made. So that is an unfortunate one for them. I think a lot of people, probably there are a lot of fans of Sasanda Magala, and a lot of people would have maybe wanted to see him play, but unfortunately he will not be available in that particular in for that particular side. It is unfortunate for him. He hasn't played cricket now in a while, and that would have obviously caused a little bit of a shuffle around in the side for the Sunrisers. But Patrick Kruger, I think, is a good replacement. He's also an all rounder. He may be more of a batting all rounder than a bowling all rounder, like Magala is. So it will strengthen their batting department. We don't know how many overs someone like Patrick Kruger will bowl for the team, but they do have still a very talented side. The SEC team squad is quite stacked, and obviously they are defending champions, and they've got a very mixed side. Not only is it they have experience and they've got youth. So I'm going to just from our magazine, I'm going to be putting it up on the screen for you guys so we can go through the squads together. So you might as well just see all the squads one time. I'll show it to you. So for the SEC, they've got Aiden Markram, Tom Abel, Otniel Batman, Tim Bavuma, Liam Dawson, Sarel Ewe, Ayak Kamani, Simon Harmer. I was going to say Simone now. Simone. Simon Harmer, Jordan Herman. They've got Marco Janssen. They've got Patrick Kruger, David Malan, Adam Rosington, Caleb Saleke, Andile Semalani, Tristan Stubbs, Bayes Swanepoel, and Daniel Waddle. So they'll be taking on JSK first up. And to give you the JSK squad, Faf du Plessis, Moeen Ali, Nandre Berger, Gerald Coetzee, Sam Cook, Louis Deploy, Donovan Ferreira, Diane Halim, Riza Hendricks, Ronan Herman, Zaire Khan, Wayne Madsen, Simonela Macanya, Aaron Bangiso, Romario Shepard, Carl Simmons, and Imran Tahir, David Visa, and Lazard Williams. So that's that squad. Let's move on to the Pretoria Capitals. We majority of the, like I already told you about the changes there, but the squad is Wayne Parnell as captain, Matthew Post, Corbin Bosch, Ethan Bosch, both brothers in the team, Shane Dadswell, Tiernis de Bruin, Darren De Pavilon, Colin Ingram, Will Jacks, Sunera Mutasami, Jimmy Nisham, Michael Pretorius, Adil Rashid, Riley Rousseau, Phil Salt, Paul Sterling, Hardest Viljoen, and Tian van Vuren, and Cal Verena. Then we move on to the Durban Supergiants. They've got Keshav Maharaj, Noor Ahmad, Matthew Brzezinski, Junior Dala, Quentin Lecoq, Tony De Zorzi has been added recently, Heinrich Klaassen, Kyle Meyers, Vian Mulder, Naveen Al-Haq, Bryce Parsons, Kimo Paul, Nicholas Puran, Dwayne Pretorius, Panuka Rajapaksa, Jason Smith, John Smuts, Brendan Subrayan, and Reese Topley. Then we've got one change to the My Cape Town team, because obviously we know that Jofra Archer has been ruled out of the tournament, and obviously I need to change Rashid Khani as well, because now Kieran Pollard is now the captain of that side, so I need to have to change that actually. But Nuwan Tusara has been the player that has been added to the side. Tom Banton, Chris Benjamin, David Brewer, Sam Curran, Connor Esterhuizen, Björn Hendricks, Duan Janssen, Thomas Kaber, George Linder, Liam Livingston, Kieran Pollard, Delano Potgieter, Kagiso Rabada, Ryan Rickelton, Grant Roelison, Ali Stone, Rassi van der Dussen, and Neelan van Heerden. So those are the squads for you guys. With regards to the Paul Royals, there's been two changes as well in this particular team. We obviously know that Leandre Pretorius is out of the side, because of the SA because of the SA um, SA under 19 World Cup as well. And Peter has been added to the side, who's a spinner from the Lions. They've also added Keith Dudgeon to the side, which is um, a massive change as well for them. Uh, Keith Dudgeon is quite a talented player, and he wasn't picked up initially, of course, but it was a bit of a surprise, I would say, to an extent, that he was the one that they went for, because we know that he plays, if I'm not mistaken, second division cricket. So um, he plays for KZN Inland. Okay, now he plays first division now because he's KZN Inland. And 28-year-old, of course, he has from Gauteng. He has 217 wickets in first class cricket, 70 wickets in the day, along with 22 scalps in 17 T20 games at an economy of 7.89. He currently is with KwaZulu Natal Inland, um, and he's replacing actually Luandre Pretorius. Then obviously young pacer Kwena Makapaka was a rookie. He's also been left out, and he's now been replaced by Kaba Peter. Sorry, so I got that one all wrong, with regards to who's replacing who. But they've also got Evan Jones, Bjorn Vertain, Josh Butler, Fabian Allen, Federico Adams, David Miller, Albert McCoy, Lungingidi, and Pechlaquayo, Jason Roy, Debray Shamsi, Lorcan Tucker, John Turner, Mitchell van Buren, Dane Vias, and Cody Yusuf. So those are some of the signings. Those are the squads for the SA20. So I just thought that I would give you guys a update on what the squads are and who is replaced who, etc., and what the changes have been for regards to the matches. So tomorrow's match is taking place in Gqeberha, and the game will be kicking off at 5:30 p.m. For the fans in PE that are watching us, or in Gqeberha that are watching us at the moment, you guys must know a little bit of information that the gates will open at 2:30, so that you can have early access to the opening ceremony. And the pre-match entertainment will start at 4:20 p.m. before the game gets underway at 5:30 p.m. I'm assuming that the toss will be at around about 5. So that's just a quick update for you guys regarding the SA20. We did do an SA20 show last night to give you guys some information about what we think about the tournament and how it will affect South African cricket and what our thoughts are on it. I was quite open and honest with regards to that and my thoughts about that, because that is something that I thought needed to be shared, with regards to um, what I think about the tournament, how it can affect South African cricket, etc. Because we do sit with a situation where the SA20 is good for South African cricket, but there are also some negatives about it, and we obviously seeing that with regards to the. We're also seeing that with regards to the New Zealand tour. So we did a show on that yesterday, and I think it's something that is worthwhile watching even down the line. I don't think it's something that's going to age too much. So it is an evergreen type of video that you guys can go and watch again. Even though you missed the show, I think it's something that you can still pick up and still get a lot of out of it. I mean, I did read out comments as well, so you guys will be able to still see the comments on the screen, even though the live chat won't be available for you to see on the watch back. But I did pull up the questions on the screen, and we had a great time talking about all of that. So yeah, the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine is out. Like I told you guys, I showed you some of the articles that are in it, And I think you guys should maybe go and download that and give it a read, so you can have a little preview ahead of the tournament. We tend to always try to do magazines before tournaments to kind of give a little bit of a preview for the tournament, so you guys have a little um, access to a little guide on your phone, on your mobile, on your computer, on your tablet, wherever you want to view it. So I do try my best to give you guys the best type of content that is available on all platforms for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy the read. It's not a very long one, it's a short one because I wanted to keep it short and sweet for you guys for this particular issue. I don't want to bore you too much with too much extra information on the SA20. There's some longer reads and some shorter reads in the magazine. So please go and download that and read that. Then, big breaking news today that took place before I get into the live chat. Um, Newlands, guys. I think we all saw it coming. I don't think we should be at all surprised. But the Newlands pitch for the second test between South Africa and India was rated as unsatisfactory. So here's the article that I'll read out to you guys. The ICC today announced that the pitch for the second test of the ICC World Test Championship series between South Africa and India at Newlands in Cape Town has been rated unsatisfactory under the ICC pitch and outfield monitoring process. ICC match referee Chris Broad submitted his report expressing the concerns of the match officials, and after consulting with captains Dean Alga and Rohit Sharma, both of whom felt that the pitch was below standard. That's a big statement there. Following the assessment, the venue has received one demerit point. I'm going to read out what that means. The report has been forwarded to Cricket South Africa, who have 14 days to appeal against the sanction. Mr. Broad said the pitch in Newlands was very difficult to bat on. The ball bounced quickly and sometimes alarmingly throughout the match, making it difficult to play shots. Several batters were hit on the gloves, and many wickets also fell due to the awkward bounce, 23 on one day. In the ICC pitch and outfield monitoring process, if a pitch or outfield is rated as being substandard, that venue will be allocated a number of demerit points. One demerit point will be awarded to venues whose pitches and outfields are rated by the match referee as unsatisfactory, while three demerit points will be awarded to venues whose pitches and outfields are marked as unfit. Demerit points will remain active for a rolling of 5-year period. When a venue accumulates 6 demerit points or crosses the threshold, it will be suspended from hosting any international cricket for 12 months, while a venue will be suspended from staging any international cricket for 24 months when it reaches the threshold of 12 demerit points. So that's just a quick update about Newlands and what has taken place there. So the pitch was obviously rated as unsatisfactory. And we can now lay that to rest. If a lot of criticism was thrown towards the coach, Shukri Conrad, and Ashwell Prince for their comments about the pitch, shockingly on social media. It's now been proven by the ICC that that is the case, that it was a terrible pitch, and they've been given one demerit point as a result. So that the groundsman's going to be under a lot of pressure now going forward. Now that this has happened, so guys, that's the news out of the way. I've told you about the changes within the SA20, and I've also updated you guys on the Newlands pitch. So let's get into the live chat and what the show is all about. It's a Q&A session with you guys. So if you guys have any questions, throw them in the live chat. If you want to super chat them to make sure that I read yours out, please do so. It really helps out the channel. So let's go. I'll start at the top. Rajesh says JSK win tomorrow. Akshay says club over country, SA20 over test, leagues over country. Heard enough. CSA needs money. Players need more money. Cricketers' careers are short. You are done by 35. Earn while you can, says Akshay. Kani says Sunrise is playing 11. Jordan Herman, Rosington, Malan, Aiden, Abel, Stubbs, Janssen, Bayers, Dawson, Harmer, Bartman. Very deep batting lineup with Harmer coming in at number 10. Lorenzo says, I see Magala is injured again. At what point do we simply just put it down to him being overweight? It's common sense that if you are overweight, you'll get injured more. At what point does CSA part ways? So CSA already kind of parted ways with him by taking him out of the World Cup squads, etc. So and the international sides. So I think that they have started to try and draw a line over there with regards to Susanna Magala. I think they've moved on from him now. At least that's what it seems like. No SA20 cricket for him is a big blow because he hasn't really had much cricket all year. Canis says, how are your predictions for the top scorer and top wicket takers of the tournament? I just have an inkling feeling that Quinton Cock is going to light up this tournament. And I think he's going to be top scorer, in my opinion. That also obviously will depend on a lot of factors. But I just think that now that he's just playing for the fun of it, he has no pressure on him. I think he's just going to go gunzo and just light up the tournament, in my opinion. So I think Quinton Cock will be top scorer. Wicket taker. That is a tricky one. There are a lot of good players in this tournament. I don't know how much spin is going to come into play these days with Newlands' wicket. I don't know how they're going to prepare it and how it's going to operate. So, could we see a spinner be top of the wickets column? That could be a possibility. But for me, I would have said Andrik Nokia, but Andrik Nokia is not available. He's injured. So it makes it a little bit difficult for me to think about that one. Let me get back to you on a bowler. Let me get back to you on a bowler that I think will be the main person regards to that. That is a tricky one that you asked me over there, to be honest with you. I think there are a lot of talented bowlers in the side. I'd also have to maybe look at the first round of fixtures to see who will start. I think that will also play a major part in who I think will be one of the top bowlers in the tournament. So I'm going to have to give that a little bit of a think. I think Ethan Bosch will definitely be up there if he gets regular game time. So I think he would probably be on one of the players on my list. And can you ever count out KG Rabada in the form that he's in after the Test series? Possibly. He could be in the mix there as well. So I'm always going to go with South Africans, of course. I know there's a lot of... I mean, Ollie Stone as well. I think Ollie Stone getting a full tournament this time around. I think Ollie Stone will be up there with the pace that he bowls. Canis is Khalid Pretoria Capitals replaced Steve Stork with the... Yeah, I've just updated you guys earlier on about that. Dromic says, will you be covering the Under-19 World Cup? I'll try my best to do so. There's so much happening at the same time. So I'll try my best to do so. I'm pretty sure we will do reports for that. And I will try my best to do as many reviews and updates regarding the S19 World Cup on the shows. I will give sections on the Daily Show where we dedicate to the S19 and what has happened with the S19 team. I'll only be covering the South African team though, and I will be dedicating sections on our shows to talk about the under-19s as well. So I will be definitely be watching that as well and keeping an eye on how we are doing there, because I always want to try and see who has potential to be a player for the next generation. I don't only look at the guys that are superstars. I try to look at techniques as well and see which players have a decent technique, but maybe sometimes players have a good technique, but they just don't fire in the World Cup. and then they could be picked up in a franchise and then start really doing well. So I'm going to keep an eye on that World Cup, and I'll dedicate time, like I said, on the Daily Show to speak about that and update you guys on that too. Do you honestly feel we CSA are taking Test cricket seriously, or are they just saying it just to get media and fans off their back? I personally feel they're lying to us. I think that they already gave up. I don't think the director of cricket has given up on Test cricket. I think that Test cricket still remains important. I saw someone say that Aiden Markram and I don't know who the other person is that they mentioned. They said that they suggested that we should maybe play 3 4 day games in 4 day tests and start having 4 day tests. I don't know how true that is. Um, but for me, Test cricket, like I've said so many times on the show, is my favorite format, and I never want to see Test cricket die out. When it comes to what Cricket South Africa is doing with regards to Test cricket, Graham Smith, in his little video that I played for you guys yesterday, suggested that we might only see changes in 3 4 years time, or that's what it sounded like in what he had to say with regards to scheduling and making it work with Cricket South Africa and the national side. I don't think we have. I don't think we can wait that long. Uh, I hope that this scheduling issue only happens this time around. I hope that changes will be made for next season's campaign so that it doesn't clash. I think we play Pakistan at the same time. I don't want to see it clash with Pakistan next season. I think it's Pakistan. I'm not 100% sure. You can let me know in the live chat. But I don't want to see these scheduling issues happen again. We'll be sending a weekend's test side to go play a top nation in a World Test Championship. We need to start prioritizing Test cricket in this nation. I think it's very important for all of our cricketers. But once it's hard, you can CSA organize Test matches outside the ICC Championship schedule. They can, but whether they have the money for to do so is the big question. I think a lot of the reasons for having only 2 Test matches has also got to do with financial issues as well. I think. Akshay says someone should invest in Dean Forrester. He seems to have a good future as a hard hitting all rounder. Well, it does seem like the Knights will probably get promoted this season. It seems like it. So you'll be in Division One next season, most likely. Whether he gets promoted with the Knights and he plays for them, or whether he gets picked up by another team. So the main thing is I would like to see him playing Division One. That is the main thing for me with regards to Dean Forrester. I think he's a very talented player, extremely talented player. You could see how he really lit up the Division Two this season. Yeah, hundreds for fun, 50s regularly, taking wickets as well. Uh, Extremely good. So the Knights do look like they're going to be the team to be promoted. And so we might see a situation where he gets opportunity in Division One, even if he stays with the team that he's at the moment. So that's a very interesting thing to keep an eye out on. The Knights are top of Division um, Two in the 4 day arena, so it's very likely that they could be promoted. Do you know anything about MI Captain rookie pick Connor Esterhuizen? I've seen him bat a couple of times. Looks like Mahela Jayawardena rates him highly. I don't know too much about him. I haven't seen him play a lot, so I don't know. Actually, I haven't seen him play. I don't think so. It is something that I think we need to keep an eye on this season, and this is the one thing that I do enjoy about the SA20. I mean, he played against India A, but I didn't watch the match because obviously that was I didn't get an opportunity to watch a match. I think I was covering something else. I can't remember what it was. And he got a 48 in that match. Um, so it's going to be an interesting one. This is the one thing about the SA20 that we can say is positive. There are certain names that get thrown into the mix, get picked up that we might not really know about and might not have heard about. And they make their name on the SA20 stage, and then we can start tracking their career a little bit more. So we're gonna wait and see if he gets an opportunity to play. Then we can see what happens then. Lorenzo says, "Do you think more people will attend the SA20 this season or less?" I think it will be. I think more people will attend because of the amount of promotion that SA20 is doing outside of cricket. They're getting people involved to promote the tournament that are not actually that know nothing about cricket actually, which is funny to see. So SA20 is becoming a beast on its own, where it's not only about the cricket anymore. It's also about a good time in the stadium and going out with friends and enjoying the vibe, etc. Almost like the sevens has become, in a way, you could say. Sevens rugby is a lot about the vibe, dressing up, going with friends, and spending your day at the stadium, all of those type of things. So the SA20 was like that last season, and I think it's going to become more than like that because SA20's budget, obviously, for marketing has increased. So they've gotten, you could say, like influencers, etc., to promote the tournament to their fan bases, and their fan bases obviously are not cricket people. The majority of them, overwhelming majority of them, are not cricket people. So you know, the generation that we live in these days, they kind of people follow influencers around and want to meet them. So if they are going to games, I'm pretty sure they're going to attract their own fan bases to come to the games and watch. So I think there will be an increase of support. But let's see. Tomorrow's game uh, in Cabeja will be a massive. It will be a massive indication of how the tournament will be supported this season. TT says Lorenzo. That's to Lorenzo. Macmillan says Pankiso still playing. Yes, feels like that guy been around since the invention of the wheel. Yeah, last season he was actually uh banned. Was he banned? I know he was fine or not fine, but I think he was banned for bad bowling action. Perbix says just to confirm, Steelman is not in SA20. I'm surprised then that he is not in squad versus New Zealand. Clinton Steelman isn't in AC20. I don't think he is. No, he was injured for a while. So I don't know if that's maybe something as well. Um, I don't think he's in AC20. I didn't read out his name early on. I don't remember reading out his name at least. He was injured for a while, and he came back, and he has been playing for Boland, so for Paul. So yeah, um, quite strange. He hasn't had his best of seasons though when it comes to the bowling. I mean, he hasn't really been taking many wickets consistently throughout the tournament in the 4-day arena. Macmillan's okay. Kani says JSK playing 11 Fafariza, Luis Deploy, Moin Ali, Don Ferreira, Visa, Romario, Gerald, Berger, Williams, Tahir. Macmillan says Durban Super Giants have a power batting, a powerful batting squad. Wow, they have a lot of all rounders in the team, and also last season they just picked a whole lot of all rounders. They had like all rounders from like three or something. So but they did terribly in the tournament, so it didn't really help them. Lorenzo says Temba, in my opinion, should have just withdrew from the tournament and focused on getting fully fit for the Proteas since he's our captain. Hamstrings don't just miraculously heal 100%. Ask KDB, but money rules. Creed. Tushar says, why Mkhlane Pongwane is not in the New Zealand tour? It's a good question. Uh, I was also quite surprised that I didn't see him in the squad, especially when he went to he was part of the SAA side. Maybe Coach Shukri didn't like what he saw from him in the little bit that he saw him play. I don't know. Burbik says, how quick is Moreke Bowl? Wish him all the best versus New Zealand and we'll be cheering for him. Moreke is like a 135, 140 bowler. I don't think he goes beyond 145. I think he's between like 135, 142, 143. Yeah, I think he can reach those that pace. I don't think he's a 140k plus bowler. Oh, Lorenzo saying 140k plus. I don't think he is a 145k plus bowler. I think he bowls between 135 and 142, 143. Kani says, which team will end up at the bottom of the table? For me, it's Durban or Paul. I don't think we should underestimate Paul. I think Paul have a good team. And especially in the spinning conditions, they're going to do really well. Am I mistaken? Or is the SE20 games 30 minutes earlier this year? No, I think they were this time last year as well, I think. I remember there were certain games that were obviously in the afternoon as well. I remember in Joburg. I think that the semi-final was at 4:30, wasn't it? I really can't remember, to be honest with you. It's a whole year ago. I can't give you that answer. How does Steve still compare to Brevis in terms of quality and skill with the bat, as in when Brevis was playing for S under 19? Some people would say they're similar in their aggressive approach and the way they pose, and etc. But I don't think you can compare Steve Stokes to Deva Brevis purely because Steve Stokes 17. He's already in the under 19 side, in the 19 squad, playing in a World Cup at that age. So he's much younger than Dewald was when Dewald broke through. And he looks a lot taller and a lot bigger and a lot more powerful, I think, than Dewald Brevis. But Dewald is a little bit more all timing. Yes, he's powerful, but a lot of timing involved in technique. I'm not saying that Steve Stokes doesn't have technique. He definitely does. But he's a powerful, big lad, and he murders the ball. Ahmed says, Salam, bro. I'm happy that we're addressing the issues and benefits of SA20. Hopefully, we will find the right balance. Yes, yesterday's show was all about that. So please go in and check that out, everyone. Why Lawrence is why are fans surprised at what we saw at Centurion and Newlands? Like ABD said recently, what I saw at Newlands are pretty much stock standard for SA wickets of late. Yeah, SA wickets haven't been that great of late. Burbick says, what type of player is Ronan Herman and how good is he? A really good player, very talented player. Um, his hero is Quinton de Kock. Um, you can read the piece in Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly, this issue, to see a little bit more about Ronan and what type of player he's. I'm gonna let you guys go do that. Lawrence says people want 500 to play 500. Boring test cricket. And yet batters get praised when that's the case. Yet when seamers thrive, it's an issue. Cricket is a batter's game, I guess. Yeah, it is a batter's game, but to be fair, you don't want to see a test match end in 1.5 days. Like that's just ridiculous. I mean, 3 4 days we can accept, I guess. Um, even three, I think. Yeah, I guess you can accept 3 4 3.5 days, 4 days, but 1.5 days is just ridiculous. Carverena getting an out cause Newlands was docked one demerit point. Laugh out. Yeah, perhaps that they have an excuse now, at least. Bubik says surprised Aisha Kluti not in SA20 or in New Zealand tour squad, considering he has a good pace and a good record. Aisha Kluti has had a lot of injury issues in the past, ever since he came out of Kai Majolo week. So I think he needs to get some consistent seasons under his belt for like 1 2 3 seasons, and then we'll start to see him being talked about again. He was excellent in that Kamajolo week that I covered. He was superb. He was so quick and so accurate they couldn't play him. Like he was missing the stumps consistently, unfortunately, which was which is the unfortunate thing. Lorenzo says, "I'm sorry, but WPCA needs to be called out for this. They get fat paychecks for doing nothing cricket related. All they care about is business developments. WPCA getting a free pass once again." Um, there's a lot of issues going on in that arena in in the Western Province circuit at the moment. So there's a lot that needs to be sorted out with regards to WPCA. They're not currently in a very good financial situation either. I think they lost their major sponsor. So Six Gun Grill is not no longer of Western Province. So yeah, I think they're going through a little bit of a tough time at the moment. Saman Shahid says, "What's your favorite format?" 100% Test cricket, then ODI cricket, then T20 cricket. I think CT will win this time. Very strong squad, says Otto. Um, Berwick, I refrain from answering this question. If you guys know my history, you'd know that I started there um, as an intern, and then as a content producer, and then left. Um, not under the best circumstances, and have since started my own media company, and which is Cricket Fanatics magazine. Um, a lot of the content, to be honest with you, I don't read any of the content over there. I just hear people talk about it. So since I've left, I haven't really taken much note of what they produce and what content they produce, to be fair, to be honest. I've been focusing on what I want to do and the direction that I want to go with this publication. So that's the honest truth. I have heard people speak about it a lot, but I kind of just try to ignore it as much as possible, and not get involved with regards to those type of that things that are going on there. Connie will be the MVP. Want Neil Brandt in test team, says Otto. Um, Lawrence says Tahir will take a shed load of wickets. Well, we'll have to see. I haven't seen Tahir play in ages. In ages. Burbick says, "Where's Ryan Rickleton in the test team picking order? Seems harsh for him not to be in the picture." I do think that if Calvarena doesn't find his form again or find consistency in the national side, that Ryan Rickleton will be hot on his heels as a replacement. Um, Now that Heinrich Klaassen has retired from Test cricket, I think that Ryan Rickelton will probably be next in line. TTCs, but from a fan perspective, I agree with Lorenzo 100%. But from a perspective where I see the guys as normal people, I understand their choice. Just my take. Okay, I haven't followed your guys' responses to each other. Clock says, how highly do you rate Carl Simmons as an all rounder? I rate him. I've seen him play a couple of times now, quite a few times at Newlands for Western Province. And he's always performed in the absence of George Linder when George Linder wasn't available. Uh, I think it last season that he was named player of the season. So he's he's really good. I really rate him and I like his mentality. And he seems to handle pressure quite well. Someone says, Test or SA20, what is more exciting according to you? According to me, Test cricket is more exciting for me because of the strategy behind it and all of those things. So the thought process, the weather conditions, the battles, the pressure, the strategy, all of those things that are involved with Test cricket, I really enjoy. How when a player is facing an incredibly good, well, a good batter's facing an incredibly good bowler from the other end, and it's spell after spell after spell, and they have to get themselves out and they grind it out, and they actually end up scoring hundreds, etc. It's so satisfying to watch. SA20 for me, it's just like swinging. I know some players have adapted the game beautifully, um, but you see a lot more players fail than succeed in T20 cricket. If nobody scores like a 50 or 100, it can be quite boring as T20 cricket, in my opinion. It's 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 um it's ugly to watch when a team when nobody's top scored or scored a milestone. It can be quite ugly to watch. Macmillan says, think Kutsi and Nanderberger will be in the top wicket takers. I forgot about Nanderberger, to be honest. Zaman says, what is your religion? I'm Muslim. Bubik says, how do you rate Richard Seletswane? How far will he go? For some reason, I really want him to succeed. I also really want him to succeed. I think he's done an excellent work in the start of his career. I think that if he can keep if he can keep up his consistency that he has been keeping and has been having recently, we could easily see him get into SA side, etc. Very, very, very soon. I think some. He's had some. He's very young still. So let's see how he develops. But I do like what I've seen from him so far. Um, so let's see how he develops as a player. Um, I know that for the emerging side, when he was playing for the emerging side, he scored quite a few half centuries on the 2 half centuries on the trot, and he looked quite good in that list A games. So let's see how he develops and how he performs. We're gonna have to wait and see to see that. I think Malusi Supporter will be leading wicket taker by a country mile. Macmillan, says Otto. Um, What do you make of Paul Harris' statement that Shukri told both Alga and Klassen that both of them aren't in his plans moving forward, and hence you saw both retiring? Harris also is close to both players. I think that's the national coach's decision um, to make. I mean, I said quite a while ago that we should start to look for a replacement for Alga and blood him into the team already. I said that I think a while back. I didn't want Alga to retire as yet. I would have liked to see him in the New Zealand tour first, but I would have liked to see a younger guy come into the squad and absorb as much as he could from Dean Alga. That would have been my suggestion. Initially, I didn't want Heinrich Klaassen in the test side. I wanted like I said, I wanted Calvareno to be the wicketkeeper. He hasn't necessarily um, done his selection justice in the recent Test match, but I'm pretty confident in his ability. I think that he needs to just find a way to change certain things in his game to adapt to the Test arena. I know he scored 100 already for South Africa in Test cricket, but I think that there are certain things against certain bowlers with certain qualities and that he still struggles against. And I think that foot movement is something that he could add into his game a little bit when he plays Test cricket. You guys are. Oh, God. McMillan says, why crazy that back in the day we had timeless tests in 1937 SA versus England. The test was abandoned after 10 days as the ship taking England home was set to sail. Yeah, I heard that story as well. Um, he isn't. What isn't? Oh, that was earlier on. I'm so far behind with the comments. Gee whiz. Um, Bubik says, is it fair to say that Tony Zorzi is he's a strong player mentally? This is the impression that I got from him. I believe so from what I've said, what from my conversations with him over the years and getting to know how his journey. I've always said that that's something that I admire from him is his mentality. He doesn't really get phased by what people say about him. I think people behind AC20 should take a leaf out of the BBL and put LED board into the grandstands like the Adelaide Oval or SCG. It greatly enhances viewing experience on TV. Can they do that? Do they? I don't know. If the owners must give the money, and then they can do that. McWillis is Khalid Nacho and Kobe Mainu keeping United Academy legacy shining. Kids are class. Kobe Mainu is. I'm a big fan of Ganacho, but Kobe Mainu, big fan of his. I've been supporting um, I've been watching the United youth team for a very long time as well. I watch all the youth games on MUTV. So Kobe Mainu, I've been a big fan of his for a while now, even in the youth division. And it's no surprise, well, to an extent, some surprise that that he's um, settled in first team football so quickly. What I like about him is the basics. He does the basics well, and he doesn't try to be fancy and do things crazy. Sometimes you just need someone to do the basic things right, and the way he scans and reads the game is absolutely phenomenal. Otto says, I want to see Herman's Khalid. Are they from Germany? I have no clue. I think Riley is a strong player mentally. Khalid, I think Loandre is mentally strong. We have to wait and see how he performs in this under 19 World Cup. This under 19 World Cup is really going to expose the players to a level of cricket. Let's see how they perform in this under 19 World Cup. I don't know. I haven't really been impressed with them in the Tri Series so far. And I want to see how they perform in this World Cup and how far they can go. For me, when I watch the under 19 teams, I try to look for maybe one to two players that are ready to maybe take the franchise step up and also possibly national honors soon enough. The last World Cup, we only really had one player that really stood out, and that was Deva Brevis. And to an extent, you could say also George van Heerden. But the this World Cup, you're going to have to wait and see who's going to be the one. Quinn Amapaka just took 5 wickets against Afghanistan to take them to the final of the Tri Series against India A. Against India under 19s. So let's see how they play against India in the final, because they were pretty dominated against them in the last game. So let's wait and see what happens there. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and get us to 5,000 subscribers. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. We have the SA20 2.0 edition that is available right now for you guys to download. So go ahead and prepare yourselves for SA20 2.0. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Thanks a lot for all the questions and being so great every single evening. I'll see you guys again with another daily show. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.